Dora turns to the camera and stares right into your soul. Why did you kill me? How do I toggle this shit off? Oh. You know we gotta play some Hooters road trip, guys. Are you ready to see some 4 polygon titties? Oh, talk about a fall from grace. You don't see Ubisoft making this kind of games anymore. Ubisoft, this was back when Ubisoft was still called Ubisoft. Ha 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 ha! Does the Hooters game for PS1 have nudity? The Hooters game for PS1 titled Hooters Road Trip does not contain nudity. It features the Hooters girls in their signature uniforms. Oh, yeah, okay, okay. So how does the game like work? So it's got a racing aspect, but it's also got like this like com brain aspects. Because one of these days I'm gonna go to America, see Statue of Liberty, the Grand Canyon, and Hooters. The 3 great wonders of the USA. Bad news, Hooters went bankrupt this year. Aha! No! This is me booze cruising my way out of Hooters. Did they serve alcohol in Hooters? This is like that one scene from The Wolf of Wall Street, where he's like super fucked up on drugs and he gets in the wheel. Drunk on boob milk. When I get high on milk. So where's all the girls? How is the finish line anywhere but a Hooters parking lot? At least let me drive to a Hooters, you know? Yeah, you guys start writing your school essays with ChatGPT. Okay, I'm using it for its intended purpose, okay? I can't help but to notice that this Hooters themed game, aside the loading screens, doesn't have any Hooters in it. Because if I wanted a driving game, I would have bought literally any game but Hooters Road Trip, okay? I feel like this is missing like an integral aspect. Do you think the publishing company just had like a game that like, even the Sweets, they looked at this game and they were like, yeah, that's straight ass, no one's gonna play this. And then one of the marketing team were like, you know, I got this friend who's working in marketing also at Hooters. I wonder if they would want like a video game to sell, you know, at the restaurants, you know? I wonder if you went to Hooters and bought like chicken wings with a medium booby milk, would you also get a copy of Hooters Road Trip? Okay, so we completed an entire race and the only Hooters we saw were in the loading screens. I gotta look up Hoplite Research. What kind of games did they do? From the creators of Hooters Road Trip, we bring you Mozart. Yeah, haha, Lemao. You don't need to tell me twice. Haha, Lemao. I like how some of the games just straight up have like 1 star. They put it on the console, but they were like, yeah, don't play this. This fucking sucks. Loaded. Yeah, this console is loaded. With shit. I think there was supposed to be like a voice line there, but like the audio doesn't work, so it just looks like we zoomed into the ass. Press R2 while mid-air to swing. It was indeed not R2. Let me guess R1. I wonder if they just crossed the wires or is the emulator like configured wrong. Yo, call that a web shooter if you know what I'm saying. If you know what I'm saying. What is this? What is this crawling animation? In what movie does he crawl like this? Yeah, it's kinda bad. Maybe they overcame all of their badness in Spider-Man 2. Enter Electro. Oh shit, you can unlock like different skins and there's so many different skins. Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro PS2 cheats. Oh fuck. Now this looks like a fucking Android mobile game. Well, like you got like a million characters to choose from and they're all just Spider-Man but recolored. Original character, do not steal. Say what you will, this is the definitive Spider-Man. It's a crime that we haven't gotten a movie with amazing Bagman. Bagman cleans litter in New York and gets arrested. Time to test out. Does my... yes! My cum wall trick still works. Imagine like waking up to the morning, opening up your curtains and there's just fucking cum stains on your window. Yo, these New York pigeons really aren't messing around. Star Wars Demolition. I've been binging these like Star Wars videos from YouTube. Let me tell you, like the amount of like tie-in games and like toys and like fucking drinks and like Yoda toothpaste. They slapped the Star Wars logo on fucking everything. Pepsi, you know the drink company? They did an ad deal so that they could have this like own mascot put into the movie. And its only character trait is the fact that it fucking drinks Pepsi. They made like ads, they had like a whole campaign around this dude. $2.8 billion they paid. They did this fucking ad deal to make this freaky ass, busted ass Crazy Frog knockoff. $2.8 billion. What about the Star Wars ad with Yoda stealing a guy's Pepsi? Yoda steals Pepsi. Get the fuck out.
Drink, desire you not.
I do want.
Want you not.
Do
Not want.
This summer, grab a Diet Pepsi and see Star Wars Episode 3.
Every time I do a bit with this fucking text, I'm just gonna change like one word out of it. I like how this sentence means like absolutely fucking nothing to anyone who hasn't seen this stream. Walt Disney World Quest Magical Racing Tour. Is there anything that they didn't turn into a fucking Mario Kart knockoff in the 2000s? Ah, what the fuck is that? Oh, it's not Donald Duck. It's Baron Carlot's classic character. How could I mistake? That's Roy. Who? Oliver Chickleth III. Who? Otto Plugnut. Who? This game was boasting like, yo, we got 13 characters you can pick from. Who are these people? I recognize Chip and Dale and literally no one else. Yeah, this guy fucking knows what's up. This guy fucking knows what's up. Kickstart my quack. Parentheses. Milk start my heart. Milk mustache and I'm feeling mean. Mood juice madness, I'm a dairy machine. Caps off, splash zone, yeah I chug. Feathers fluffed, I'm a dairy thug. Is this writing fire? Would you be so kind and drop the lyrics on Discord? I wanna do something. Go ahead. Do your thing. Caps off, splash zone, yeah I chug. Feathers fluff, I'm a dairy thug. Kickstart my heart, more like milk start my chug. I don't think I can listen to the song same way again. Yeah, sorry for making it better. You're welcome. The fuck? I don't know what word to change anymore. It's getting too crowded. Answered in the no context channel. Hold on. Get the fuck out!
Are you ready now?
What is... This is not Kickstart now.
Pour it cold, whole or skim. Straight to the beat, I'm living on the whim. Bessie's finest, fueling my fight. One more sip and I'm taking flight. Ooh, yeah. Milk start my heart, give it a jump. Quack so loud, I'm about to thump. Ooh, yeah. Milk start my heart, duck gone wild.
Kazakhstan national anthem. Hold on. Let me save that song. Play the tree climbing minigame in it. If I find one. It's not even close, but I swear it reminds me of something. Guys, we started playing this fuck-ass game like 5 minutes ago. We haven't gotten past the fucking menu screen. We are not about playing video games on the stream. We make art on the stream.
Ready?
Huh? Okay, so once he hits like the apex, then you gotta like it.
Ready?
Yeah. I like how violent this game is. You just mash them with these fucking snowballs until they like go neck first into an iceberg.
Game over.
Oh fuck. Game over.
Warning, you will definitely lose IQ points after you've watched this video.
7. 7 divies in with a splash.
Look at this closely and see if you can notice what's wrong. Gold star if you notice that the number block on the right hand side only has 5 blocks, despite ostensibly being number block 7. Take another gold star if you notice that the 7 on the left, which may look more correct on first glance, actually only has 6 blocks. This is AI maths down to a T. Even when it looks right, it finds creative ways to get it completely wrong. This is the video Number Blocks reimagined as Fisherman. We started with number 7 as featured in my thumbnail because it is the most egregious example of AI being very, very thick. But let's give Melon TV Fun, a channel with over 34,000 subscribers, another chance. Let's watch as much of the Fisherman video as we can tolerate.
Blocks on a fishing adventure as they reel in fun.
There's so much wrong here, I don't even know where to begin. Number block 5, for example, is only made up of 3 blocks. Moreover, number block 2 is green when they should be orange, missing their glasses, and just seems to be a totally different character. The stupidest thing for me though is the fire. Who built a fire that close to the water? It's like AI is purposefully trying to be as stupid as possible. Wait, maybe that's true. Conspiracy theory. Maybe AI actually deliberately makes stupid mistakes to make these AI swap channels look dumb. AI could be intelligent after all, and it's just using this swap to expose these channels. Miraculously, number block 1 actually appears to look fairly normal, as does number block 2. So y'all better brace yourselves for number block 3.
3's juggling fish in the air.
We have a net hanging randomly in the air. We have a tie being worn, not tied to anything, just floating there, defying Isaac Newton himself. And finally, to address the elephant in the room, number block 3 is made up of 2 blocks. Reminder, this channel gets tens of thousands of views every day. So, tens of thousands of kids are seeing number block 3 being made up of 2 blocks. Imagine if your kindergarten teacher had told you that 2 and 3 were the same thing. Well, that's what this video's doing. Another insidious thing about this particular video is the way that they integrate official number blocks clips into the video. So again, if you're a young kid watching this, it looks official. It looks like a genuine number blocks video. And yet, they're misinforming kids by showing blocks that aren't correct and sort of subtly destroying their brains in the process. Let's check out number block 4. Maybe AI will redeem itself. Let's give it a chance, Snipe Army. Bowtie out of nowhere. Bowtie moustache, I should say. Hit subscribe for more Number Blocks AI roasts. Let's protect our show. Thank you. Back to the video. He has risen. Number block 4 with his red bow tie moustache is walking on water, performing a miracle, just like our Lord and Saviour. You know what? I can't take any more of this video, guys. We're gonna have to try another one. I'm cooked. After miscounting their blocks, starting pointless fires, and indeed performing miracles, the Number Blocks are exhausted. They decide to relax and recharge at the beach.
We're heading to the beach for a sunny day of counting fun.
Comment below with all the things wrong you can see in this frame. I will pin the comment of whoever finds the most errors. Go, go, go!
One's building a sandcastle at the beach.
That's the way I feel having to sit through this junk.
16. 16's collecting shiny shells at the beach.
I get the 4th hat.
3. 3's digging in the sand at the beach.
We're 3 numbers in, and we haven't actually seen any mistakes so far. Maybe Melon TV Fun has actually figured out how to get the best out of artificial intelligence. Maybe AI really can be used for good. Is this finally the proof we need that AI can be used to help, not hinder, learning?
18. 18's jumping over waves at the beach.
Oh, I really spoke too soon. Because of course, we can see 5 blocks up, 3 blocks across, giving us 15 blocks in total. It had all started so well for this video too. But we're 1 minute in and it's all gone to hell. I'm a super rank Baja? Any AI translators out there? What's a super rank Baja? Because I literally got no idea. And Jesus, look at the wings on that seagull. They are long and floppy, bro.
Information! I change shape when I wanna go far.
2. 2's rolling a beach ball by the sea.
Are we playing musical statues?
11. 11's finding rainbow shells at the beach.
That's not even close to being right. That's 7 blocks. Unless it's some kind of lame 7-11 joke, which it clearly isn't. I actually like number block 11, so it's super disrespectful that they just cut 4 of her blocks for no frickin' reason.
6. 6 is hopping on the warm sand at the beach.
You know you're getting close to Halloween when number block 6 looks this freaking demonic. Holy frick, where did that face come from? Look at those downward sloping eyebrows. Look at those red eyes. Look at that evil grin. Someone burn this AI garbage with fire. I think that may be a wise place to leave this video. And maybe leave videos from Melon TV Fun in general. We've seen the angelic miracle wielding number block 4 with his walking on water malarkey, and now we've seen the demonic evil of number block 6. Where the hell do you go from there? On the subject of evil, there's another number blocks channel I found recently that I actually think meets the definition. Melon TV Fun may cause maths misconceptions, but they are an entertainment channel at heart, not an educational channel. The channel SoCo Live, however, actually promises to teach things: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and whatnot. But they get it horribly, horribly wrong. In my opinion, what this channel does in corrupting the learning of very young children, remember, the target audience for number blocks is 2 to 4 years old, is actually evil. Let's watch this video, number blocks, math learning, adding numbers, and you can see if you agree with me.
8 plus 24 equals
Apologies, I know the voice is incredibly annoying. Let's just get through this together.
32.
Okay, so the actual calculations in the video are correct. Eight plus 24 is indeed 32. It's the animations where they use AI where everything goes to hell. Let's count. It's a 2-minute video. How many AI animations show the right number of blocks and how many AI animations show the wrong number of blocks? This will allow us to calculate AI's intelligence level. The percentage of correct calculations will show us how smart they are. That's clearly more than 32 blocks, so the first AI animation is a big fat fail. Second AI animation, way over 32 blocks, fail. You do get bonus points for the cute little kitty cat though. Lucky made me say that, by the way. There's a cringe looking Minecraft horse, and what looks like way over 32 blocks. 3 fails in a row for number block 32. On to the next calculation, and let's hope for better luck. It would be pretty embarrassing if they got all 15 animations wrong in a row, wouldn't it?
47 plus 16 equals 63.
Math checks out, but will the AI animation? Six blocks up, 7 blocks across, that's 42 blocks in total, which is not 63. Our fourth AI animation fail in a row. You can see additional rows behind the first row of blocks. Let's be incredibly generous and say that there is 7 across and 9 down. It may well be, we can't really see. That would give us 63 blocks. However, there are 3 rows of 63, which multiplies to 189 blocks in total, meaning this is our 5th AI animation fail in a row. Remember, over 50,000 kids have watched this video. We're living in a world where tens of thousands of kids' educations are being destroyed in real time, and nobody's doing a thing about it. It's freaking insane, but at least we're here, Snipe Army, calling it out. Before we get onto the blocks, I gotta point out that white box in the bottom right hand corner. It's clearly covering up the AI watermark of the AI studio that was used to make this. Just beyond lazy. As for the blocks, 7 blocks down and 7 blocks across would be a perfect number block 49. However, it should be 63, meaning it's our 6th AI fail in a row.
6 plus 24 equals 30.
That pepperoni is really quite unconvincing. It just looks like red dots, not appealing at all. Smash like if you think that pizza would give you food poisoning. As for the blocks, 8 blocks down, 3 blocks across, which gives us 24 blocks in total. That is obviously not equal to 30, meaning we have unlucky number 7 because it's our 7th animation fail in a row. That seal really reflects how I'm feeling right now. I can't lie. To focus on the blocks, we have 3 blocks across, 4 blocks down, it gives us 12 blocks in total. Looks like there are 2 rows of the 12 blocks, which gives us 24 blocks. Obviously not equal to 30, meaning it's our 8th AI fail in a row. Three blocks across, 5 blocks down, 3 times 5 gives us 15. But if you look closely, this number block looks paper thin. So I'm going to count that as 15 and not assume the 2 rows that would be needed to give it 30. 9 fails in a row for AI. Yep, AI is so stupid that I'm not going to give it the benefit of the doubt. Now Shark, do the decent thing and eat him for breakfast. Now, on to the next one. Will we get 10 AI animation fails in a row, or will it finally get it right?
32 plus 18 equals 50.
Wow, on our 10th animation, we get possibly the most embarrassing mistake yet. Number block 50 gave birth to 6 number blocks, which hilariously adds up to 69. I'm really starting to think that AI is in on the joke here, and that conspiracy I said earlier is true. AI is secretly laughing at whoever uses this slop and embarrassing them in front of thousands and thousands of people. I genuinely think it's true. Anyhow, that's 10 animation fails in a row. I don't know why number block 50 has just become strips instead of blocks. But we don't even need to count to know that it's not showing 50 in any way, shape or form. It's another fail for AI, 11 fails in a row. Why is it facing backwards? Why the hell is this number block running forwards and its face is still facing us? Dude, I know it's only 2 weeks to Halloween, but I genuinely did not expect a number blocks video to be this freaking terrifying. Now it's turned its hideous, ugly abomination of a face, we can see that there are way more than 50 blocks. Meaning it's our 12th AI animation fail in a row. As we come onto our last number, that means we only have 3 animations left. Will AI finally deliver, or will they keep screwing up? Let's find out.
5 plus 22 equals 27.
That's not a good start. Wait a minute, I think they've played a blinder here, because we got 3 by 3 blocks at the front, giving us 9 for that first row. I can count 3 rows there in total. 9 times 3 is 27. Oh my god, we actually got one correct. Miracle of miracles. Of course they screwed up the next one. That's 2 times 9, which gives us 18 blocks. And it's meant to be showing 27. So that's our 13th animation fail. Also, looks like that sheep is eating some you-know-what over there, which is nice. Very apt for this whole entire video. Last animation, guys, coming up. Will they get it right? Will they get it wrong? It's time to see. Well, I think by the time we got to this stage, AI had just completely given up, because that's just one block. They're not even trying at this point. 14th and final animation fail. Psi times 14, I guess. Seeing as the AI animation generator only got 1 out of the 15 animations correct, that gives it an intelligence rating of 6.7%. I feel like, to be fair, that's my intelligence rating too, having sat through that absolute dross. Sorry for that, guys. I genuinely apologize. I had no idea AI was going to be that freaking thick. Honestly though, I genuinely think it's evil to pump out that misinformation to very young children. The channel Soko Live puts out videos every day. They're all AI trash. All offer no learning whatsoever. And they're popular. The channel has nearly 11 million views. That's 11 million possible kids that have had their learning hurt by the channel Soko Live. What should we do with channels like Melon TV Fun and Soko Live? Let me know your thoughts in that comment section below. I've been your host, Snipe Snap. He's been my cat, Lucky, and thankfully for him, he's been sleeping through it, so he's missed all of this AI garbage. Anyway, we'll see you soon. Snipe, Snap, out.
Why is there always at least one person basically yelling on the phone at every airport gate? A lot of stuff happening at the airport, I guess. I fly a lot for work, and regardless of country, there seems to always be at least one person who just yells at 110% volume on the phone with zero awareness or care. Like the 100 plus people who are sitting in close proximity really need to hear every word they say. Just shut up. Bloody hell. Someone I barely know asked me to change my established business branding for their hobby Instagram they set up 10 days ago. I blank, your arrangements here are so incredibly stunning. I hope this isn't a huge ask, but could you avoid this logo color scheme in the future? I've been trying to make this kinda unique for my blank branding. Also, I desperately need to pick your expert floral brain sometime. I wish we lived closer. I'm very, very new to this as a hobby on my end. The audacity, that is crazy. Hey, excuse me, for my personal sake, could you change how your brand looks, how your company is? Like, just wondering. Airport main character energy. I've been enjoying this sub, so I figure this is worth posting. This weekend, my mother and I went to pick up my father from the airport. As we were waiting for the luggage carousel to do its thing, I looked over at the escalator and was reminded of a video I'd seen where a girl started doing a TikTok dance in clear violation of a posted sign. I mentioned to my mom, hey, I've heard that TikTok dancers have gotten so bad they've been banned from using escalators to do their videos. I've seen a whole subreddit about these people. I didn't notice the girl at first, but I look in front of me and this girl is practicing one of these dance routines right in front of us. I probably should not have said anything, but because my mom didn't seem to understand the concept, I said to her, there's one of them right now. It was 1 a.m. and she didn't hear me clearly and was confused, so I resorted to saying several times that I was talking about girl in the pink hoodie and then eventually actually pointing to her. The group main character was with, obviously her and her brother and her parents got their luggage and started walking towards us momentarily afterwards. After they passed us, her mother gets very close to me and just says, thank God. Good to know that these people are at least embarrassing their families, if not themselves. Guess dentists' wait times are too long. A short one, but I thought I'd share it. Me, my sibling, and my dad were in the dentist waiting room. In there, 2 people, one an irrelevant stranger, and the other, the main character, were also waiting. My pops was just there to drive me and my sibling, cause neither of us know how. The main character was at the desk a bit before their scheduled appointment, tapping their finger. They muttered to themselves about the wait a few times. Someone comes up to the desk, this session of appointments was after their lunch break for context, asks them if they've signed in. The main character annoyedly replies, yes, and answers likewise to their other questions. Everyone has been signed in, so people start getting called in for appointments. The stranger gets called in first, so the main character asks, how much longer is it gonna be? I have things to do, so if it takes too long, I'll reschedule and leave. Person at reception says, not much longer, and this guy walks into the corner as my sibling gets called in. The main character more loudly utters, I got an appointment at 12:30 and everyone is getting called in before me, and proceeds to leave. Walks out the door and goes all the way home. Guess they didn't realize those other 2 guys had appointments at 12:30 as well. I was the only one who didn't. Mine was a bit later due to time slots. I kid you not, around 2 minutes, maybe less later, a dentist comes out looking for them, and they're gone. The worker goes outside and just no guy in sight. I got to go in early because of this. Now they have to wait until April for a new appointment. Some of the workers were talking about their shock in the matter. Hell, my sibling was talking with the person doing their teeth about the guy. Just gave everyone bad vibes. 2 minutes or 1 to 2 months, what would you choose? This guy thought the latter was more worth their time. That is insane. Like, also, what do you have going on that is at the same time as your dentist appointment? If you have a dentist appointment or an appointment for anything, I would think maybe set up an appointment on a day you're free, where you're not doing anything else. I don't know, maybe that just makes too much sense. Main character on red-eye flight. I was on an evening domestic flight overseas a couple days ago. Prior to boarding, a smug-looking 20-something guy was behind me, calling everyone on his contact list one after the other, talking extremely loud on speakerphone. Unfortunately, I ended up sitting in the row in front of him on the plane too. While boarding, he proceeded to talk on speakerphone until we had taken off, and he lost reception. A bit later, I had my earpods with some music playing. I could hear something over my music. This bloke had started watching a movie on his phone, full noise with no headphones on, a completely full flight. The noise was constant swords banging each other. That was it. I bit my tongue for over an hour before I gave him a mouthful. It wiped the smug look off his face pretty quick. Not one air hostess said to turn it down, nor did anyone around him, even though they were clearly frustrated at it. Anyways, turns out this main character shied away quickly when confronted and was a coward. And everyone clapped, right? No, I'm sorry. I don't know. Maybe this happened. Maybe it did. I don't know. But the fact that no one else, even the people working on the plane, asked them to turn it down, I don't believe that. I feel like if you're listening to music loudly on a plane, people are going to be pissed. Everyone has headphones that listens to music or watches a movie or whatever. Just be respectful. Woman interrupting 16,000 person show because she couldn't hear. I went to the Nate Bargatze show in Boston the other day, which is in a huge arena, same place the Celtics and Bruins play. The stage was set up so it was in the middle of the floor so everyone could see. While the host was giving their opening set, not Nate, a woman from the front row gets up and approaches the stage to let him know that she can't hear him. Of course, he made a bit out of it, but imagine that level of entitlement. This isn't like a small comedy club, it's a stadium. And if the people in the bleachers could hear, I'm assuming the people on the floor could too. Oh, and apparently she was the only one. Everyone else seemingly didn't have an issue. Me thinks someone was wanting to make something all about them because they were in a big stadium. I don't know. Not first in line. Shout out to my local Honda dealership. I got to the dealer at 6:30 a.m. for a 7 a.m. appointment. Staff person comes in and says, "Got a woman who needs to get to the city this morning. She insists that we look at her car first." My rep, who's already processing me, knows I arrived first, asks, "Was she here first?" "No," the staff guy replies. "Then she's not first." It's really not that complicated, is it? It's not, and I'm glad this person gets it. Pretty cut and dry main character. Up until like age 8, I used to think that everybody and everything in the world stopped until I was in the area. I deadass thought there was literally no movement at all until I came on the scene. I don't know why. Alright, I'm not gonna clown on this person because they said up until they were 8. Vaguely, I feel like I also thought this at one point. It's like object permanence, you know? It's like young kids think things are not there if you're blocking them. Like if you can't see it, it doesn't exist. But then when you see it again, it's there again. You know what I'm saying? People who talk loudly in movie theaters. Went to watch the new Demon Slayer Infinity Castle movie with my girlfriend today. No spoilers, but the movie was great. The experience was slightly tainted because there was a loud couple talking beside us. From what it sounded like, the girl didn't seem that interested or familiar with the Demon Slayer lore, as this is pretty far in the series, which is fine and all. The main issue was the guy, as he was loudly explaining to her the context of every character that appeared on screen. It got to the point where he was pretty much just thinking out loud and the girl he was with was just nodding. I was super tempted to confront him, but didn't want to risk a big commotion during the middle of the movie. I don't get why people come to the movies to do this. Seems like social awareness and respect for the public is becoming more rare these days. Dude, I remember when I saw Avengers Endgame in theaters, and I had the same exact experience, except he wasn't talking at normal level. But yeah, I remember him sitting with his girlfriend, and like, Red Skull shows up, and I remember hearing him say, "That's Red Skull, he's from Captain America, the First Avenger," and was like proceeding to explain what happened to this character. And it's like, why are you here seeing a movie such a pivotal film in this 10-year series, and it's like you didn't watch any of the other movies or do your research? Why are you here watching this movie? I don't get. Are you interested in the movie? What? I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. Guy on Pirates of the Caribbean with flashlights on for the entire ride. Oh, brother, Pirates of the Caribbean is my favorite ride at Disneyland. I would be talking about. And the voice on the loading dock literally just said, "No flash pictures, now off with you." And this TikToker sitting 2 rows behind me loudly said to his stream, "Oh, sorry, Chad, I didn't know this ride was this dark. Let me fix it for y'all." And off as it interferes with the ride, he offered us a re-ride. Hey, turn off the Oh my god, I'd be upset. A girl thinks me sighing is a personal attack against her. This happened to me at the college dorms. I was making some instant noodles and was waiting for the water to boil. I don't like standing still while I'm waiting for something, so I paced around the kitchen. First, I should specify that the floor I'm staying at is rather small, so we only have one corridor, and the kitchen is an open space at one end of it, so you can see the entire floor from it, including the doors leading to each room. As I was pacing around, a girl walked out from a room that was the opposite of at the opposite end of the corridor, so I was looking right at her. I didn't want to block her way, or just awkwardly step to the side, so I went to stand by the kettle, but still gave her enough space to walk past me. She didn't say anything at first, so I just looked at the kettle, but then I heard her say, "Why did you sigh when you saw me? Did I do something to you?" I was caught off guard, but quickly understood what was going on. You see, I tend to sigh a lot. I don't know if it's a specific neurodivergent thing or just one of my vocal stems, but it's something I do, often without realizing. My mom tends to get annoyed by it, but telling her I'm just breathing out loud usually calms things down. I realized I must have sighed right as I was looking at the girl, as she misunderstood it as me being annoyed or mad at her. I tried to explain to her that the sigh wasn't targeted towards her and how it's just a thing I do, but she wouldn't buy it. For some reason, she was convinced that I was doing it on purpose and started saying stuff like, "I didn't do anything to you," and "Stop doing that," in a rather annoyed tone, and even threatened to report me to the lady who was maintaining the dorms that day. I tried to calmly explain everything, but she just threatened to report me once again. That's when I realized what was going on. She was just trying to intimidate me. So I told her to go ahead and report me, and she probably did not expect that. She kept insisting how she was being serious, but I'd always reply with, "Go ahead," knowing damn well she wouldn't do it. Eventually, she realized she would not be able to intimidate me and went back to her room. Nothing became of the situation, as even if she did report me, she'd most likely get told to ignore me. I have no idea why she thought the sigh was targeted towards her. It wasn't even an explicitly annoyed sigh, just a regular one. Even if it was, then why doesn't she just ignore me? We're not roommates, we don't have the same classes, heck, I don't think we even study the same thing. The only time we see each other is when we happen to walk out of our rooms at the same time, which barely happens. If before she thought I didn't like her, now I definitely don't like her. I wouldn't. How dare an Uber driver not know who she was? It's microaggression, I tell ya. Imagine having a doctorate from Harvard, running a 7-figure company, calling an Uber black to go to the post office, and your driver asks if you're going to work. America is so wild. I don't think what he thought was an issue. Were you offended? So microaggressions are not an issue? What the are you talking about? Get your head out of your ass. Waitress didn't pay special attention to me. Oh. 1 out of 5 stars. Do not recommend. The food here was really good, but the service was really terrible. The girl was new, so not her fault, but her manager just talked to her and never had her check on me. Only came to my table to bring the food, never smiled or had any conversation. All I felt was rudeness, to be honest. Will not return. Oh no, dude. The person working there was just doing their job, the thing that they are expected to do, that's all they're asked, and you're upset that they didn't smile for you? Come on, man, grow up. It's my daughter's wedding, and she's not doing exactly what I want. Dear care and feeding. My oldest daughter, Elena, is breaking my heart. She is engaged to a nice enough man that she's been with for 5 years, but she has thrown out every tradition that is important to us. She won't wear an engagement ring because diamonds are ugly and not politically correct. I didn't know diamonds weren't politically correct, but she refused both an engagement party and a bridal shower. They won't create a registry, so my friends have no idea what to get them for wedding presents. Turns out she's not even inviting my friends to the wedding, just their own friends and family. She isn't having a bridal party, and her sisters are hurt because they wanted to be bridesmaids. I was so looking forward to shopping with her for her bridal gown, but she bought a plain white dress. Worst of all, she won't let her father walk her down the aisle because, in her words, she's, quote, not property to be given away. There is no reception, just champagne, no bar either, and wedding cake in the basement of the church. No wedding dinner, not even appetizers. No wedding toasts, no first dance because there's no band. I understand that Elena watched her younger sister turn into a bridezilla, but her sister did have a gorgeous wedding that we paid for. We are willing to pay for hers too, but she and her fiancé are refusing to do anything we want. They are both doctors and can pay for what they want. Elena's father is ready to stay home rather than be ignored, and I'm not sure I want to be there either. How do we navigate this without alienating our daughter? It's like, a lot of it doesn't make sense to me either, but it's not my wedding. That's where it ends. There is no, well, I think you should, no, shut the fuck up. It's not your wedding. I don't care if it's your daughter. I don't care if it's a friend. It's like, you can make suggestions, but at the end of the day, they're gonna do what they want for their wedding. Let the passenger behind you rest. You still have another window. The passenger behind me closed the window shade to my left. I still had a window to myself, and I don't care for needless conflict. But That's not cool, right? This guy's expression, he's just, is this not kind of awkward, guys? Is this not kind of awkward sauce? Am I looking too deep into this situation here?
Have you noticed how many aesthetics there are now? Cottagecore, older brother core, rare aesthetic, being Australian. Thanks to TikTok, everything has a name, and with so many floating around, some are bound to be pretty strange. So to see how cooked we really are, I'm digging through the worst and weirdest current trends. From performative males to Labubu and even the romanticization of lockdown, you can probably guess how well this went. Starting off with fashion. I'm sure you've seen how chaotic it's become. Social media has made hundreds of obscure, weirdly specific styles that seem to pop up and die within the same week. Maybe you've fallen down a rabbit hole yourself and ended up on Depop hunting down jackets that Jesse Pinkman would have worn in 2008. Or perhaps it's even worse. Perhaps you or someone you love falls into one of the 7 deadly fashion sins. The old money look has been around forever. It's timeless, low-key, and traditional. Also pretentious. It's what TikTok started calling outfits like these. With high-quality materials and tailored fits, it's historically been the style of choice for families with generational wealth. Things change though, and now you'll see it more on 24-year-olds renting Lamborghinis and selling courses on how to sell courses. Old money versus no money. How is a Cybertruck the shining example of old money?
Always choose class in a world of cringe.
Just like quiet luxury, this style is really about emulating the practices of rich people. Not outwardly displaying logos, keeping color palettes minimal, and trying to flex in an understated, nonchalant kind of way on the 8 AM bus replacement. On the flip side of this is styles like older brother core. It's still taking ages to put a fit together, but the intention is different. Baggy jeans, thrifted t-shirts, and deceptively expensive jumpers are carefully blended to create the spitting image of your brother in 2006. Get a little closer and you might hear them muttering phrases like tapped in, grunge, or net spend. This look came from a renewed fascination in the 2000s and early 2010s, specifically the culture around skateboarding, music, and TV. These guys aren't trying to look wealthy. It's all about connecting with nostalgia and super niche online communities. You could almost say the same for the performative male, except they're a little more sinister. Relatively speaking, the term is new, but the phenomenon is anything but. Also known as the Macho Man, not Macho Man, a performative male is aggressively interested in astrology, tote bags, and wired Apple earphones. On their own, none of these hobbies are inherently problematic. Reading emotionally charged books on the train, collecting records and vintage clothes, but it's when they're combined that the problems begin. Many see the full picture as an obvious attempt to craft an aesthetic that appeals to the female gaze. It's inauthentic, cultivated to make them appear as alluring and non-threatening as possible. I'm a normal guy, I'm a swell guy.
But when I get a little matcha in me...
However you see it, it seems a lot of people have already made up their mind about these guys. It's been endlessly satirized online, with multiple large-scale performative male competitions. Just like a virus though, this aesthetic is merely the latest mutation of a broader trend. Coming from the same strain is Safe Sleazy, or Safe Greasy, depending on who it is. Hallmarks here are mullets, mustaches, and band t-shirts. Again, while there's nothing wrong with any of this, it hasn't stopped people associating it with a specific, mildly irritating type of dude. Safe Sleazy and the performative male share one more thing in common: Patient Zero, the 2010s hippie. But what if you took one of these guys, swapped their matcha for a white monster, and gave them a vial of research chemicals made by one of those Instagram street vendors? Well, you'd get the gym bro. Gym fashion has certainly had its highs and lows. Just look at Ziz's shorts in the 2000s. But singlets, tracksuits, and short shorts have been around forever. Only recently have we seen things change. From masks to form-fitting superhero costumes, the Iron Dojo isn't the place it once was. It sometimes feels more like a fashion show than a place to work out. And you know what? That's okay, because in the face of all of these unhinged outfits, we share a common enemy. Gloves and five-toed shoes. I don't want to bear witness to the segmented locomotion of each individual toe. If you're wearing these, I can hear you before I see you. There's a grotesque tapping with every step as your digits rise and fall independently. Moving on, let's talk about Gorpcore. This is easily the most harmless archetype we're covering and also the most practical. Gorpcore was coined in the 2010s as clothing previously designed for outdoor use began to gain traction in streetwear. Utilitarian garments with a bunch of pockets, straps, and gadgets. You'll find muted, earthy color palettes layered over durable materials like Gore-Tex. You may have seen this in the rise of brands like Arc'teryx. It isn't your traditional luxury brand like Louis Vuitton, but it still commands a high price. $1,000 jackets, $3,000 coats. The key difference is it's much easier to justify buying because it's functional. At least that's what you can tell your friends when you show up to dinner wearing an outfit built for Mount Everest. The final deadly fashion archetype is what I like to call the algorithm. It's a little harder to pin down because this person takes a little bit of everything and changes it every few months. The only thing that's consistent is that all of their ideas come from their For You page. Whatever's going crazy on TikTok or Instagram that week is what they'll buy, even if it's completely incompatible with their previous obsession. You'll find them wearing the new viral Sheen shirt and walking around with whatever metal drinking device is currently in vogue. More recently though, they might have one of these little guys hanging from their bag. What is it? Why is it there? And why does it cost so much? Well, I found out the hard way. Now, hoarding trinkets and toys wasn't always viewed favorably. If you were an adult fan of comic books, trading cards, or small plastic bricks even a decade ago, you'd know this. People used to chuck around words like geek, dork, nerd, and weenie. They only stopped because their hobbies became cool. Marvel made superheroes mainstream. YouTubers made it so grown men could rip open booster packs without fear of being labeled a goblin. But TikTok took things to the next level. I'm sure you've seen videos of people fighting tooth and nail over Pokemon cards at Costco, or others crying about receiving fake Labubu dolls. But why is this happening? Why have we become so obsessed with specific products and how they make us look? Collecting has changed. Today, a lot of people only do it to add to an aesthetic identity. Items become props and accessories. People aren't buying this stuff for themselves, they're buying it to tell others about themselves. It shows that you're tapped in, up to date with everyone else. We all do it, just look at the shelf behind me. I might not be the best example though. Regardless, short form media has put this into overdrive. It tells you the products you need and then you only have a short window to buy them to actually connect with the community. Otherwise it just disappears. Of course, we saw what this meant for Pokemon. Every new set launch is like the midnight release of Halo 3. This highlights a bigger problem with modern hobbies though, an even darker reason behind their rapid and fleeting growth. The scalper. There's nothing worse than waiting in line for a new drop and slowly realizing the person in front of you has other plans. Yeah, I'm only grabbing like 30 this time. Oh, your kid wants one. Don't worry, they'll be up on Facebook Marketplace tonight. Only $100 over retail. These guys are unique. They're not buying the product for themselves or even to flex it. Instead, the internet has made certain items so desirable that they can make a living camping outside a Costco for trading cards. It's simple. TikTok makes everyone want to be the guy with a full set of prismatic evolutions. You can't find any at retail though because scalpers know this too. They've bought up the supply and can now freely dictate the price. Unfortunately, by this point people are in such a frenzy to buy that they'll pay anything, and the cycle continues. In other news, the Travis Scott x Erewhon Dubai Chocolate Labubu Matcha Latte is finally releasing. After literal days of speculation and rumors, we'll finally know what this unholy combination tastes like. I joke, but for some people this shit is dead serious. As a level 100 consumer and hoarder myself, I had to see what all the fuss was about, starting with these furry blind boxes. Now, I didn't know this, but Labubu is far from new. It was first released in 2015 as part of The Monsters, a series by designer Ka-Sing Lang, not necessarily in ship with Pop Mart, a Chinese toy retailer that specialized in blind boxes and figurines. By this point, designer figures were already a proven formula, but Pop Mart did things differently. They were cheaper, randomized, and accessible. Anyway, when they started appearing on celebrities in mid-2024, they were set and ready to explode. And that's exactly what happened. It's also why I bought some to conduct a little experiment. Pokemon vs Labubu. Both have secret rares worth hundreds, and both are hoarded by resellers for that exact reason. In fact, most Labubu blind boxes never even make it to shelves. But how much value is the average person really getting? I'm putting them head to head to see which loses or makes more money. Naturally, none of this was available for retail, so I spent 180 Australian pennies on each category. Only one will emerge victorious. So for the Pokemon cards, we're looking for one of the evolutions. Specifically, the one to get with this set that could be like 500 bucks raw is the Umbreon. Who knows, maybe we'll get lucky. Crocodile water. We have a Ogerpon or something like that, the Fire Monkey.
No.
This is just a mask. I think this Pokemon is just a mask. Last we have Common Chimp. Oh, we got a Master Ball. Kind of looks like a VTuber of some sort. An EX. Another trainer. Oh, okay. I can see something. Now, if you've seen any of the rare ones for this set, you'll know this is the pattern you want to look for. And it is a...
I'm sorry, everybody follow me.
Obelisk, Vaporeon, Zoroark. Ooh, we've got a very shiny A-Spec. Rose Toy. Alright, it's a Master Ball, and the Master Ball is on... EX. Another EX. Remember, even just one of the evolutions would be fantastic. It's Monkey Dory! Final 2 packs. One of them could hold the key to, I don't know, making a little bit of money back. Bruh. Alright, last chance. Gabite. Another VTuber. Mystical Potion. Beldum. A selection of Wiggle Tits. Monkey Dory hanging off the tree, hollow. We're near to the end of this pack. A shield. And finally, we have... Okay, it's textured. Oh, shit. But we've pulled a... Okay. Let me sleeve that before I damage it with my sweaty fingers. It's a very nice looking card. Unfortunately, even if I'd paid retail, Pokemon didn't come close to breaking even. Let's see if Labubu fares any better. 2 One Piece. Luffy would be nice. Zoro. This is the secret rare. If we can somehow pull that, it'll pay for everything. There's also 2 Labubu, big into energy. We have this one, Love, Hope, Serenity, Luck, Happiness, and Loyalty. Comment which one of these you're feeling the most right now. Maybe it's loyalty. Maybe you're going to subscribe after this. Maybe it's happiness. Maybe you're happy that I've finally uploaded. Or maybe it's a secret. Now, these are the ones that I'm most concerned about being completely fake, fabricated. It is always possible. I mean, I bought them from eBay. I didn't get them from the official Pop Mart web store. A stand. Now, first figure of the day is... Nice. Okay, this is nice. The print quality, though, is really great. Doesn't seem like there's any real errors or, like, bleeding. We have a Bitcoin stand. Any One Piece people know why there's Bitcoin? I didn't know these guys were buying that shit. Bitcoin Sabo, and he's got a flaming pole. Now for the second one. This is cool. I don't know who it is, but it's cool. He's got a condom on his tuft for some reason. He's got a little Harry Potter lightning scar there. There you go. Honestly, I do get it. If you're a fan of Labubu and One Piece, this is a solid pickup. But now it's time for the big boys. So this one we actually have a better chance of pulling than the Gear 5 Luffy. Interesting. Very fluffy. I don't know, he's a bit fucky looking. He's a bit wonky. I don't know if this is a factory defect or maybe he's just come out the womb wrong. And you can sort of see the stitching here, which is, I don't know if that's a good sign or if that's just what most of them are like. And here we have the final box. Fuck, tough little critter. Happiness. It's a nice color, actually. I feel like these two complement each other pretty well. Has a little bony protuberance coming out of here. I don't know why. You can't see it on camera, but I promise you it's there. Forgot to show this, but you get a cool little card for them too. That's always nice. Hold up. I think they messed up and sent me an extra one. What? If you're tired of spending $5 a pop on coffees or canned caffeine, try Gamersubs. It's sugar-free and at 40 cents per serve, a whole lot cheaper. Look how yummy. They got the blue stuff from Fortnite. With code MINT, you too can be a beast on the keys and a freak in the Excel spreadsheets. Don't just take my word for it. That's code MINT for 10% off store-wide, plus free samples with no shipping cost. Let's get back to burning money. Surprisingly, Labubu came really close to breaking even, and I was left with a little more on my hands than just just cardboard. That being said, after carefully reviewing the data, I can safely conclude that the only loser here was me. I contributed to the scalper economy and accessorized my hobbies for content. But I did prove a point. When you make it all about the money, the performance, the aesthetic, you've already lost. Still, fashion and collectibles aren't the only victims of the aesthetic apocalypse. It gets worse and a lot weirder. For example, recently you might have seen these rare aesthetic posts. Some are ironic, others relatable, and some so ridiculously specific that it's almost disturbing. Those are the ones I'm interested in. The whole point of these is to capture a sensory experience or memory in only a few images. It could be personal, fleeting, or something that only a handful of people would ever know about. Like pre-release 3DS models and colors from 2010. Or the experience of making noodles with your cousins at night. I don't even know how you'd come up with that. The weird thing is though, their bizarre specificity isn't damaging their reach. Some of these have hundreds of thousands of likes, millions of views. But how? For starters, perhaps they're a bit more relatable than they appear. Like this one. Unsupervised YouTube access wasn't rare at all. It was pretty much the universal experience of Gen Z. Everyone saw a couple things they probably shouldn't have. Nostalgia plays a role here too. A lot of the things labeled as rare aesthetics just flat out don't exist anymore. This era of YouTube is gone, so it's nice to see someone acknowledge it at all. As for the stranger entries in this trend, they also have a common through line. Childhood memories. Rare aesthetic. Going to swimming lessons and being jealous of your mum sitting in the cafe. That might sound insane to some people, but for others, it's a memory they otherwise thought was completely unique. Like yeah, eating chips after swimming is weirdly such a core memory. Real quick, let me address the 5 other Australians watching this. I know you're out there. Remember these swing sets? What about these glass tables? Where did those come from? I'm being so serious. Everyone had the exact same models, just in various states of decay. I don't know if there was something going on there, but whoever made these had an absolute chokehold on our backyards. Going global again, the rare aesthetic videos I see most often are romanticizing holidays. Christmas and Halloween in the 2000s. But I think these are a little more than just nostalgia. I mean, in general, things looked cooler then. The movies, media, and toys for seasonal holidays were undeniably peak. Stores went all in with decorations every year. Christmas movies were still actually being made. Are we really gonna go out with Elf being the last holiday classic? I don't know, drop a comment if Christmas fell off. You know what is just nostalgia though? 2020 TikTok. Remember the 20-year nostalgia cycle? What if we made it every 5 years? I've noticed a growing trend recently that looks back fondly on the year 2020. I might finally be getting too old for these because wasn't that like the worst year ever? It's crazy to see it memorialized in vibrant edits and TikToks. I've also seen this look referred to as indie kid, which is an aesthetic that emerged during the indoors period. Again, it uses high saturation, contrast, and grainy filters to achieve an almost dreamlike feel. But these people aren't the only ones trying to relive the past through aesthetics. Technology might be doing the exact same thing. Do me a favor and quickly look at your phone. Do things look kind of off? If you have an iPhone and recently updated it, there's a good chance they do. There's also a good chance it's 3 times slower. But that's besides the point. All of the app icons look a little different. They're almost 3D, with gradients, shadows, and glassy textures. The camera icon is now a lens, not just a flat outline. While this seems inconsequential, it's actually a bigger deal than you think. Historically, Apple has been a key player in major UI changes. They helped popularize the shift to flat design with iOS 7, and now, more than a decade later, things are due for a change. So we can finally ask, is the controversial era of flat design over? And if it is that even a good thing? For the last 10 years, it's been everywhere. Logos were simplified, colors disappeared, and everything began to look the same. Of course, there was some intention behind it. Flat design reduces visual load and is less distracting. Still, one significant downside is it looks boring as shit. There's nothing interesting going on here. It's cold and it feels like all of these companies are diligently following the same rulebook. Apple's new liquid glass breaks all of these rules though. For the first time in ages, they're doing something that I've sorely missed. Making completely pointless bullshit. There is no reason for the lock screen to pop up in such a satisfying way. They didn't have to make every surface translucent or frosted, perfectly refracting whatever's behind it. Look at some of these animations.
Ooh, look at that.
This icon looks like it tastes good. I haven't said that since Windows 7. Still, calling this update divisive is putting it lightly. The keyboard sucks. It should be called Liquid Arse.
Software engineer here.
Many people, perhaps even yourself, see it as just a gimmick, and that's fair enough. But I do think it's a step in the right direction. It's a step away from a style that a lot of us are fatigued by. And who knows, maybe more companies will start to take risks when it comes to graphic design. We could be on the brink of a complete shift. After all, UI isn't the only place people are starting to get sick of bland aesthetics. In all of my videos, there's one area I rarely touch on. Partly because my room looks like it was designed by me, but mostly because I had no idea how deep the interior design rabbit hole went. It's gotten even crazier recently, with dozens of bizarre internet aesthetics dictating how people design their homes. Oh, my house is cottagecore. You see the library? It's giving dark macadamia with a hint of old money. I personally find dopamine decor particularly interesting. In retaliation to popular styles like millennial grey, it reintroduces colour to people's rooms. There are no guidelines, rules, or even a basic need for things to look cohesive. The only requirement is to buy stuff that makes you happy. Weird couches, different coloured walls. As long as you like it, anything goes. Consequently, dopamine decor is usually maximalist. Spaces quickly become chaotic and cluttered as they fill up with personal items and decorations. Honestly, I'm all for this. Using decor that works for you is infinitely better than pretending this is what every dining room should look like. I'm not hungry anymore. Dark academia is another thing altogether. Defined by dark color palettes, gothic architecture, and moody lighting, it's basically evil old money. The name is new, but the look has been around for ages. Unsurprisingly, you'll see this all over TikTok, with people showing their room makeovers and giving advice on how to achieve it. Now, there's one more style I want to look at, and even though I don't think it has a name, you'll definitely recognize it. To get started, you'll need this rug, a huge Cause figure, 10 bear bricks, a poster of LeBron James sweating, and $10,000 a month for rent. This can only be done in a penthouse. Kanye West, hypebeasts, crypto millionaires, and naturally streamers all seem to be obsessed with this look. It's kind of the pinnacle of the whole collectibles and aesthetics discussion we were having before. Visually, it's like they all bought the same Sims DLC and hit copy and paste at slightly different locations. Of course, it isn't bad, it just doesn't feel very lived in or personal. Kanye's old house straight up looks like a liminal space, a defunct amusement park with all the animatronics left in place. As far as streamers go, it's far from the Kanye's old house straight up looks like a liminal space, a defunct amusement park with all the animatronics left in place. As far as streamers go, it's far from the most outrageous setup. Even if they're hiding mounds of food just below the camera, it'll never rival the lair of Asmongold. While making this video, I think I learned a valuable lesson. Even in a world where personality is defined by possessions, collecting stuff for the sake of looking cool or following trends just isn't rewarding. Fashion, hobbies, games, everything moves too fast anyway. You're better off just doing your own thing. I don't think anyone has the energy to constantly reinvent themselves to fit in with the newest micro trends and aesthetics. Of course, it's fine to indulge in them, but when you're suddenly spending hundreds of dollars on collectibles or clothes, it doesn't hurt to step back and ask yourself, why?
Pepperami. It's a bit of...
Nice TV.
at least 6 or 7. So for the next part of my plan, I tried to recruit some people to join my subreddit and upvote my facts. I also went to my friend's house because friendship means the world to me.
Tell me, what do you know about the Google AI? What do you think about it?
I don't know much about it. I just know that every time I try to Google something, the first thing that pops up is Google AI, I guess.
And do you think it's trustworthy? Do you like it?
I trust it somewhat, as if it's just general information, but I know that sometimes it can be wrong, I guess.
What if I showed you this meme? Yeah,
that is true. I have seen that
doesn't
before.
Seem like the most trustworthy right now. And what if I also showed you this meme?
Yeah, it's really stopping you. That makes sense.
Now you're sort of thinking, I'm not sure I trust this Google AI. Now, what if I also showed you this meme?
A little giggle.
Yeah. So now you're thinking, maybe this Google AI doesn't seem the most trustworthy. It's sort of, from these memes, I can gather that they're getting tricked by Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
And you're thinking, that doesn't seem right. What are we going to do to stop that? Well, look at this meme.
Using Google's AI overview, posting fake information.
Yes. My plan is to post fake information to show how bad the AI overview. Trick the AI with fake information. How am I going to do this? I'm making a subreddit on Reddit. I need you to help me. Now look at this meme. Does this guy look like you?
I'd say he looks like me, just less handsome.
And which girl would you want?
Probably this.
Probably that one. Read this and tell me if you're in.
We should be posting fake information on Reddit to trick Google's AI's overview into giving funny results.
Do you think you want to join in on the rebellion and join my subreddit and trick the AI?
I think this is a great idea.
You think this is a great idea?
Bring it in.
Yep, safe to say things went pretty perfect with my friend. And now that r/TrueFacts only had gotten another member, I went back to check on how my Reddit posts were doing. It looks like I got an email notification from Reddit. It says, you/NoMoNapkins2 replied to your post in r/AI memes. And then the comment says, fuck you. Turns out, not so well. Posting fake information to trick the AI, me. Using Google AI overview. Cause screw AI, that's why. Then screw you for posting leftist propaganda in meme subreddit. I didn't quite know that this meme was leftist propaganda, but I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, apparently Google's AI overview has a lot more shooters on their side than I initially thought. One person even said that what I was doing was evil. The only person that even supported me tried to trick the AI by saying the best way to see if bread is done cooking is by sticking your penis into it. He said that's the best he could do. Okay guys, I'm going to make an audible because I'm starting to think my plan of having a ton of people post fake information on a subreddit to overflow the Google search engine isn't going to work because I don't get that many people join the subreddit. I don't have enough motion, guys. And also, it wasn't the best idea in the first place. It was the equivalent idea to just throwing shit at the wall and hoping it sticks. But now I have a change of plans. Based off the research I did a little earlier and what other people have said, it seems like the best thing to do is not throw shit at the wall, but to make one giant piece of shit and just keep throwing it at the wall until it sticks. In other words, I'm gonna brute force the algorithm with only one giant lie that I can just post about all over social media like TikTok and Reddit. And I think the fact I'm gonna go with is that the new GTA 6 game will have a twerk button, because I believe it's just in the realm of possibility where the AI will believe it, where people can believe it, but it's also definitely not true. There's not going to be like a sole twerk button in GTA. And it doesn't hurt that when you already search up if GTA 6 has a twerk button, my Reddit post already shows up on top. So I mean, if we just flood it with so many Reddit posts that all show up on the top, Google AI will definitely believe it. Now, what do you think of that idea, Kobe? Oh, I think it's a great idea. You're really quite a genius. Thanks, Kobe. I appreciate it. So with that, I sprung into action and posted about GTA 6 having a twerk button everywhere that I could think of. I posted on my subreddit. I posted on GTA subreddits. I posted on TikTok. I posted on Twitter. I replied to some posts on Quora. What's your favorite video game? Definitely gonna be GTA 6 because I heard it has a twerk button. Also, Mario Galaxy. I like how there's a jump button. Mario be like, wahoo! I'ma get you, Bowser, and fuck you. What is the most messed up thing you've ever done in a video game? GTA 6. Twerk button.
76 hours.
I even made a song. GTA 6 has a twerk button. Has a twerk button. Has a twerk button. GTA 6.
Smokey the Bear, the Dare Lion, Nookie Man. These are just some of the iconic mascots that stand the test of time. They're iconic, memorable, and let's be honest, make a ton of money. So naturally, a bunch of other nonprofits wanted to get in on that sweet, sweet mascot money. And one rabbi had the brilliant idea to create a character that teaches Jewish children lessons not only about their religion, but also about their cultural heritage. That being the culture of Lakewood, New Jersey, of course. What he came up with was this. Mashugana! Hey cuties, Kenchi here, back with another dose of sweet Islam. Today we're diving into Five-ish, the official mascot of Ura, and the first ever recorded Cash Sona. We'll cover his rise, fall, and a messy incident that happened during a trip to Israel. Quick disclaimer. You know a video's gonna be good when my edgelord ass needs to do a disclaimer. But I feel like I should point out that in this video, I might touch on some pretty touchy subjects, but I assure you, I'm a good little YouTuber. You see, this is really a video about a very ill-advised mascot and a scam that would put Tony Soprano to shame. But as a member of the 13th tribe, I feel like I'm obligated to make this. And while I was indeed radicalized by the combined forces of white girls with septum piercings and Mexican girls that look Chinese for some reason, I'm still very much down with the tribe. So sit back, grab your daki, and let's talk about how a guy in a $5 bill costume managed to spark a massive charity scam, a small riot in Israel, countless children receiving death threats, and possibly the second loss of my channel. This is gonna be fun. Like and subscribe! So Ura is this big Jewish nonprofit out of Lakewood, New Jersey, founded by Rabbi Chaim Mintz in the 70s after having a vision sent to him in a dream about Abigail Shapiro's rockin' milk tanks. After that moment, he knew he had to defend the faith at all costs. On paper, they do normal nonprofit stuff like outreach, alleged insurance fraud, summer camps, alleged trafficking, Torah classes, and all the other wholesome stuff. And like every other nonprofit, their first objective was to actually make a profit. So Ura holds these regular fundraisers. I don't know if fundraiser is the legal term for it, all things considered, but that's what they call it, so let's go with that. Usually they're promoted with annoying jingles and skits that could double as torture methods. And after setting the Jewish people back 500 years, they decided that what they really needed was a mascot. And here's where things started getting a little occult. You see, officially, Five-ish exists because Ura wanted to put their logo on actual $5 bills for promotion. And understandably, the government wasn't okay with that, because that's illegal. So instead of taking the L, they abandoned Yahweh and summoned a $5 bill golem. According to ancient texts found in the Hebrew homeland of Montauk, New York, Five-ish's original form was the Yap Dollar, a Canaanite demon of greed that was said to protect his people during times of strife. One thing led to another, the Yap Dollar got synchronized into Jehovah, who in reality is a space dragon who eats your prayers, and that's why I live in a bunker in the woods awaiting the return of the true Messiah. It's a whole thing. Don't worry about it. Anyway, the Yap Dollar was finally released to the world through a cursed Ura video unveiling their new mascot. And I shit you not, it's literally a cursed Ura video of actual rabbis in a boardroom trying to figure out how to market this thing without looking like a cult. And that's one of the most insane parts about this whole thing. Everything about Five-ish and Ura is like if the smelliest shardy troll managed to somehow leave his goon den long enough to create the greatest piece of anti-Semitism since Ethan Klein's Weird Turkey Gizzard. Believing they found the gem to end all coal, Ura planned on creating a multimedia empire with Five-ish. Basically, they tried to do for Five-ish what Cumtown did for Adam, except they failed, spectacularly. Granted, they were, allegedly, moving undocumented immigrants like Trump, so they could definitely do some wild shit. And speaking of wild shit, Ura figured that before they could conquer Hollywood, they had to start small, and their first shot at mainstream glory was my new favorite form of nightmare fuel, known as Five-ish and Friends. In 2013, Ura released a conceptual pilot for a Five-ish children's show. You can tell they poured their heart and soul into this, and totally didn't just film the whole thing in a single afternoon before somebody called the cops about a man in a giant fucking money costume terrorizing a Jewish neighborhood. In the show, Five-ish is basically an evil spirit haunting some New Jersey McMansion. He torments the adults into insanity and forces the kids to sing terrible, terrible songs for hours on end. It's the Shabbos special, and Five-ish literally opens the episode by threatening an elected official.
Well, why don't you just go remind him who put him in office? Okay. All right, let me check the numbers. I'll check the numbers.
Very subtle, Five-ish. So Five-ish tells the children that they must prepare a Shabbos feast before he does his own Passover. So what even is Shabbos? So after creating the heaven and earth, Jehovah decreed that the seventh day shall be the day of rest, along with a whole bunch of other commandments. It's basically the Jewish Sabbath. And it's also the reason why your grandma dragged you to church every Sunday, and the moment you decided God isn't real, and now you're a moderator in r/atheism. Honestly, the pilot has everything. It has a strange man chasing children around in a playground, a clown who sings songs about kids going to hell, and of course, some sweet Abrahamic knowledge.
He was very good now. No good.
Anyway, I kinda get why they would choose a $5 bill. It ties in their whole $5 donation gimmick, but come on, bro. This is fucking insane. This is like if I made a kid's show about a giant bucket of fried chicken, teaching children how to avoid paying child support. I almost did make that show, by the way. I had to cut it because this video is already taking too long anyway, but let me know if you want to see that though in the comments. So throughout the episode, Five-ish has been hyping up the Shabbos feast and telling the kids that their Shabbos feast would be used to summon an unknowable entity.
Shall me kegel the kishkin, the opsik, and the gallon, and the overnight potato kegel, and the gefeffer the kegel, and the pacha, and the crispy crunchy grievance.
This is the face of a kid who's getting blasted by some real Phoenician knowledge. And just when you think you can't get any stranger, they summoned Five-ish's grandmother from hell, who's literally a disembodied Five-ish arm. You can literally see the guy behind the door. And Five-ish also mentions that another surprise guest is coming, the Shabbos Queen. It's apparently a holdover from some old pagan tradition where they personify the Sabbath as a bride or queen of Jehovah. So yeah, the pilot literally ends with a demonic summoning. Amazing. So you'd think after shitting out that live action pilot, which I'm pretty sure actually summoned a Syrian ghost, Ura would have learned their lesson. But no. Instead, they doubled down. You see, Ura does this series of specials called the Shmorg series, and in Shmorg 6, they decided to make their big foray into an animated Five-ish movie. So I started digging for this absolute gem, and I found a sketchy website that claims to have the full movie. And judging by the comments, one of which is definitely not high on a burner account, it looked like I was actually in for a good time. I mean, Ura would never lie. Oh. Fueled with determination to finally get shmorged, I kept digging, and that's when I stumbled across Shmorg 7 on Ura's actual YouTube channel. And what do you know? It had an animated Five-ish segment. So immediately I can tell you that they really put those unpaid migrant workers to good use with this one. So the movie starts when a group of 3 lads come to Five-ish's house, looking for a good time. I feel like I've seen this somewhere before. They come to Five-ish asking for help with their mishvah, or whatever the hell that means. Honestly, just looking at Five-ish gave me psychic damage, so I couldn't keep up. I should also point out that this video gave me some really cool videos on my recommended. Anyway, Five-ish then proceeds to creep on the kids by saying some really sus shit.
All of you are great yeshiva boys who will get into every and any yeshiva in the world. As long as you don't tell them you're on my story tape.
So while he's getting his baby oil ready, he proceeds to tell the kids a beautiful story about Jewish resilience. No, actually, he just tells about a time he went to the airport. And immediately, we see some very concerning shit.
You forgot your change.
Change? What do you mean changed? I need a change? Well, I mean, everybody could use a little bit of change. I'm not saying that, but I mean, how much do I really need to?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Anyway, Fivish gets harassed by a TSA agent because he was too locked in. Tweaking government wage slave versus locked-in sovereign citizen. Oh, and we also meet a character that is somehow more offensive than Fivish.
The Schwame, the Kegel, and the Ila, and the Gewaltige, and the Kitschke.
He immediately gets detained because they suspect him of having a bomb. Then we go into this fucked up scene where Fivish looks directly at the camera while this one dude screams directly in his ear like a demon. It was at this point I was fully convinced the Shabbos Queen came out of my monitor to kill me. And then the plane crashes because it's being piloted by a Fivish, and it crashes into the worst possible thing a Fivish could ever face. An island full of Christians. Vor-loving Christians.
Make sure there is plenty to eat. I am famished. In fact, so famished am I that I can even eat you.
Vor is canon in the Fivish universe. I hate this movie so much. It's actually killing me. I'll just speed run through this. The Fivishes crash. There were no human survivors, by the way. They immediately run into the Christians, and then sing a song about how Jesus wasn't the Messiah. Then a stretched out Lord Farquaad shows up to sing his shitty song, except his mouth isn't even synced up. And then Fivish sings a song that converts the savages to the true faith. But don't worry, the IDF shows up at the end and saves everyone. Seriously, they get airlifted out because apparently the Mossad was tracking them.
See, the way we find you is from our cell phone. You never turned it off. We got the Mossad to track it, and we found you.
Fuck this movie.
Now get it, Root. I am very good with predictions, okay? I don't know if you know that about me. I am an excellent predictor. I am a prognosticator par excellence. I can predict anything. In 2016, there will be elections in America. That's not my prediction. That's a fact. But you know which party is going to win? Achashverosh's party. And you know why Achashverosh will win?
Out of work and destitute, Fivish turned to stand-up comedy.
And President Achashverosh will get so drunk, he won't be able to tell the difference between Osama and Barack Obama.
Moses Christ, that was terrible. Bro bombed harder than me in front of the White Hose. But he did pave the way for future Jewish comedy legends like Adam Friedland and Cat Williams. But eventually, all that touring and his rock and roll lifestyle took a toll. Fivish went to the doctor for a checkup, and the results were grim. The doctor told him he was dying of terminal inflation. If you want to know more, look up Fivish inflation. The doctor recommended he go to Israel for some rest and relaxation. Just go on one last birthright trip before the end. So Fivish packs his bags, heads to Israel, sees the sights, rubs mud in his face, but then tragedy struck. Ura posted the footage themselves, and I will warn you, it's very disturbing. Here we see Fivish getting chased and brutally beaten in Israel, with Ura posting on YouTube to squeeze out an extra few views from the same demon they chewed up and spit out. Another victim of the Hollywood machine. Okay, I'm just gonna address the elephant in the room. This is also fucking insane. This is probably one of the most insane things I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. YouTube is definitely deleting me again after this shit. And so, Fivish's journey came to an end. From a humble $5 bill, to a failed mascot, to a martyr. But you see, the internet wasn't quite done with Fivish yet. That was terrible, holy shit.
Hello, my dears. Today we're making banchi jinjangu. It's a convenient pot dish for lazy people and people who like to eat. When cooking this meal, you want to make sure to use scissors when making this meal to make it as messy and unappealing as possible. How on God's green earth are you gonna cut tomatoes like that? Oh, hey, ой, ха. Это какая-то ерунда. Зачем кому-то это делать? Hada гра mutlak. Anyways, this is sao how na tau kao tau. I think it says somewhere in the Thatherapa commandments, which was bestowed upon us by the great creator, thou shalt not fucking use scissors to cut your vegetables. But show matapo, but hey, what's a wati? Oops, my bad.
In 2024, a now deleted Chinese TikTok user uploaded a video of the character Five-ish with a super corrupted AI voice, mumbling broken Google Translate English over random Chinese clips. There's just something beautiful about foreign brain rot. The algorithms loved it. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all of them were possessed by the spirit of Five-ish. And overnight, Five-ish was reborn as a meme, and it went insanely viral, insanely fast. Fast forward to August of 2024, where the official YapDollar account was made. Created by Instagram user and meme page admin Emma Farrow, who was sick of his original YapDollar post saying flagged and nuked by Instagram's AI moderation. So he figured he would just make an account dedicated to Five-ish and spread the gospel. And it worked, achieving insane growth and gaining almost 300,000 followers just 4 days. Everything was going great until Farrow awoke to a shocking revelation. His entire YapDollar account was gone. And you would think it was Aura itself being shitty. I mean, from what we've seen so far, and what we'll see in the next chapter, you wouldn't really put it past them. But no, the real villain here was one of the other early YapDollar shitposters. A TikTok user named, what the fuck? Prognos Pogody? You see, Prognos had been pushing his own YapDollar edits, except his weren't funny. They're basically just boomer tier conspiracy rants tacked on to a dancing $5 bill. They were actual cool. And then along comes Farrow, whose goofy edits blow up way bigger, and then Prognos is left tilted and completely chimping out. So he made a bunch of accounts to mass report YapDollar and spread misinformation online. He made these super butthurt posts claiming that he was the original YapDollar, and how his rendition is the real one, and other YapDollar bad, etc, etc. But then, he did the most pathetic thing you can ever do online. He cried on Reddit. Never cry on Reddit. As you can see on the post, he also snitched super hard to Ura too. And once you know it, Ura actually stepped in. They didn't just nuke Farrow's account, they nuked Prognos's too. And just like that, it was the end of an era. Brought about by some random dude's chimp out. But that's just the meme side of Five-ish. You see, I've been softening you up with brain rot and cringe, but if you really want to see how deep this rabbit hole goes, we've got to talk about Ura themselves. And if you thought Five-ish was wild, you ain't seen nothing yet. Xiao Hung Shu.
Cars for kids, KARS, Cars for kids, 1877 Cars for kids, donate your car today.
What you just heard was the infamous Cars for Kids jingle, a sound that I guarantee the CIA uses for psychological warfare. It was so bad that people literally sent death threats over this. And the craziest part, that annoying little tune is directly tied to Ura. So Cars for Kids raised millions of dollars nationwide. The idea was for unsuspecting donors, to call the charity and donate their old cars, probably thinking that the cars would go to some huge Mad Max death race for the kids. What the charity does instead is just sell the cars and use the money to help marginalized children, or so they say. In reality, the money didn't go to kids, or cars, and not even tiny little football pads with spikes on them. Apparently, they funneled 90% of their funds straight back to Ura. Charity watchdogs like Charity Navigator and Charity Watch both gave them terrible ratings. Nonprofit Quarterly straight up called them a self-serving, self-dealing mess. And it gets better. The Minnesota Attorney General straight up accused them of misleading donors because the whole thing reeked of money laundering. And speaking of money laundering, Ura themselves run these insane Ura-thon fundraisers every year. Now, they call it a charity auction, but it's probably just lawyer speak so the feds don't show up at their door. Because what it actually looks like is a massive money laundering raffle. You see, most raffles give out like gift baskets, maybe a TV, but at the Ura-thon, you can win straight up cash prizes. Large cash prizes. In fact, here's some of the prizes the lucky donors won in the last Ura-thon. $23,000 cash, $100,000 cash, 6 tickets to Israel, Five-ish cash, which is $5,555. Jesus Christ, I can't speak. $5,555 cash. And of course, the monkey. It's also worth noting that all the winners were located in the New Jersey, New York areas, with a few exceptions being in straight up Israel. Very slick, Ura. You almost tricked the feds. So let's talk about real numbers so you can get an idea of what we're dealing with here. So in 2024, Ura pulled in about $48 million in revenue and spent around $39 million. and ended the year with a little over $8 million in net income. That left them with $209 million in assets, and 84% of that revenue was straight-up donations. And then we look at 2023, and they actually lost about 2.7 mil, but still had nearly 200 million in assets. And the years before were even bigger, with $22 million in profit in 2020 and a wild $49 million in profit in 2021. Their assets basically doubled in a few years, going to God knows where. Compared to something like Harvard, where these sorts of finances aren't unheard of, it's definitely weird for a supposed nonprofit that literally nobody's ever heard of until Cumtown talked about them. And here's where it gets even messier. So URA is based in Lakewood, New Jersey, a heavily Orthodox community that economically sits right above the poverty baseline. Orthodox families are often large, and poverty rates in the community are higher than average. But at the same time, people are constantly funneling money into institutions like URA. To put it in perspective, based on their income reports, URA spends the equivalent of about 25% of Lakewood's entire city budget. Compare that to other organizations like the Salvation Army, URA gives back way less to the broader community, only about 13% by some estimates. A lot of URA's expenses seem to cycle back into Lakewood itself, usually by funding private religious schools that pull students and money away from the public system. The Mintz family essentially unlocked a free money glitch. The community donates to URA, URA funds Orthodox schools, and public services, like public schools, get gutted, until all that's left for the people to turn to for anything is URA. And the school system's especially gutted. According to 2024 test scores, 60% of Lakewood students can't read at grade level, 75% can't do math at grade level, and the district's graduation rate is only 82%, way below the state average. And that's insane. Have you ever met somebody from Jersey? They'll give you a diploma just for showing up. Meanwhile, the district is spending an insane $65,000 per student per year, not only on classroom stuff, but on everything else they're forced to cover, because the private system is siphoning off resources. All this madness is being bankrolled by otherwise normal people across the country, who have no idea what URA is actually doing with their money. And if all that wasn't insane enough, here are just a few bonus chapters in the URA saga. In 2007, ICE literally raided one of their camps and arrested 31 undocumented workers who were working under a subcontractor. URA's defense was saying they're from upstate. Classic. Then in 2010, their camp website got hacked by a group calling themselves the Turkish International Muslim Hackers. They left a message in Turkish saying to basically shut down your system and redirected the link to a Palestinian activist site. It must have been easy to do too, considering URA's entire IT team was probably just one very confused Guatemalan guy. And did you know you can actually talk to the guy behind it all? URA hosts a weekly Zoom call every Tuesday where you can chat with Haim himself. Naturally, I tried to join. I was planning on asking him hard-hitting questions like, where's the money going, and was Fivish ever extracted out of Israel? But unfortunately, I couldn't get in. Maybe that's for the best, because at this point, URA feels less like a charity and more like a religious ARG. As far as I can tell, URA had been up to some shady shit for decades, and the fact that we're still talking about it in 2025 says a lot. Well, cuties, what have we learned today? We learned that a creepy mascot with dead eyes can somehow fill us with wonder and excitement, just as long as it's done via brain rot and a little Chinese magic. That a charity jingle can drive people to madness and still rake in millions, and that behind every quote-unquote non-profit is probably a guy in New Jersey riding off a Tesla as a religious expense. We saw how URA turned donations into a spiritual Ponzi scheme, and how a whole community can get caught up in the gears of something that started with the intentions of helping others. But maybe the real takeaway is this: altruism is a virtue for a reason. Not everyone doing God's work is doing out of the goodness of their heart. Some people see faith and charity as the ultimate come up. But by all means, don't be afraid to help a cause you believe in. Be generous. Help people. There are a ton of great charities doing amazing things for the world. Just maybe don't give your car keys to the first singing child that shows up on TV. Because at the end of the day, this is what happens when religion meets capitalism. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Be kind, vet your charities, and as always, stay cute, cuties. Shout out to all my supporters. I love you all so much that I will now say all your names at the same time. Thank you all so much for watching. New videos every